Now, an Emeritus Newsbrief, I'm Lynn Huston. Two big hearings on Capitol Hill. In the Senate Banking Committee, executives of the Big Three say they have cut expenses, benefits, and wages to the point where they are competitive with their Japan counterparts and are boosting production of new fuel-efficient cars. But they took heat from the doubters over the proposed $25 billion loan bailout.
I'm not an expert in bankruptcy, but I have seen research by an independent party as recently this summer which said that 80% of consumers, and it was broken out by brand, so maybe it was 60 for Honda and I think it was 90 plus for one of the brands here. It was about 80% for us, would not consider buying a car from a company that was in bankruptcy. 80%.
Yeah.
We had an 80%, if any of us had an 80% reduction in volume, then this idea of a pre-pack bankruptcy is pure fantasy.
Well,
you'd be talking about a Chapter 7 liquidation, which would affect the supply base, affect the other two, and ripple across this economy like a tsunami that we haven't seen. And it seems like to me a huge roll of the dice to weigh that, the risks of that, which I personally believe are very high against the request we're making here today. So
well, today, but you're going to come back for more, and I think you all, let me ask you this. I mean, would y'all make the pledge that if you get to $25 billion, you'll never be back to see us again?
Well, I think...
I don't think you're under oath, but I'd love it.
If you could make the pledge to us that the U.S. economy will turn around on a certain point in time, and the financial markets will rejuvenate, then we would be glad, based on that data, to come back to you and give you...
You're going to be back, aren't you?
Our exact best estimate of how much financing we think we need, sir.
Over in the House Financial Services Committee hearing, Treasury Secretary Paulson taken to the woodshed for buying bank stocks instead of buying troubled assets from banks to free up money for loans, and making the decision to do it while still arguing in Congress back in October for the $700 billion bailout to buy troubled assets.
It seems to be that this is, at least to me, and maybe it's the right direction to go, but it seems to be the second largest bait and switch scheme that history has ever seen, second only to the reasons given us to vote for the invasion of Iraq.
The situation worsened in the U.S. We had a couple banks fail or approximately fail. We had a whole series of banks in Europe go down. We had the credit spreads widen further and further. The situation froze up to the point that there was a market serious change.
And did we not anticipate that might happen?
We certainly did not anticipate everything that was going to happen. But what we did anticipate, we got legislation that was broad enough in the authority so that what we came out, I think the way you should be looking at it is we came and said there was a real crisis. There was a real crisis. We got the authorities we needed, and we went to the heart of the problem. And the heart of the problem was the financial system and capital, and we used a strategy that would work more effectively, and it has worked, number one.
The bailout talk didn't affect the markets. The Dow was up 151.17, the NASDAQ up 1.22. Crude oil up 13 cents to $54.56 a barrel. Wholesale prices plunged with the economy last month. The Bureau of Labor Statistics says the Producer Price Index down 2.8% in October. The biggest factor, energy prices, which dropped 12.8%. More arrests likely in the continuing probe into excessive disability payments to employees and pensioners of the Long Island Railroad. The former pension fund manager has been arrested and charged with taking cash in exchange for helping workers get disability payments. The investigation followed a New York Times investigation in September that revealed more than 90% of career employees retire early and claim disability payments from the Federal Railroad Retirement Board. A major recall for hundreds of thousands of Lean Cuisine chicken entrees. The Nestle company made the recall, claiming there could be foreign particles in the chicken. See dates and product codes on the Emeritus News consumer page. That's an Emeritus News Brief. I'm Lynn Huston.